Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive into the world of AI. Today we've got some really fascinating developments to unpack, things that are impacting just about every corner of our lives, from the news we consume to the marketing we encounter, and even the way we think about companionship.
Absolutely. It's pretty wild to see how AI is changing the game across such a diverse range of industries.
So let's jump right in, and I think a great place to start would be Meta's latest move. They've partnered with Reuters to integrate real-time news content into their AI chatbot.
Interesting. Especially when you consider that Meta's been kind of distancing itself from news content over the past few years, due to all those regulatory challenges and the pushback from publishers. This is actually their first news deal in quite a while, though we don't know the financial details just yet.
Yeah, it's like they're dipping their toes back into the water cautiously. But think about the implications for users, right? Like, uh, imagine having a chatbot that can provide personalized news summaries or answer your questions about current events in real time, all within Meta's
Oh,
platforms.
for sure. I mean, that kind of accessibility could be huge, especially in today's world where everyone wants information instantly. It could really change how people consume news.
And it's not just Meta, right? We're seeing other tech giants like OpenAI and Perplexity jumping on the news bandwagon too,
Yeah.
partnering with various news organizations.
It's definitely a trend.
And what's interesting is that this new partnership with Reuters actually builds on Meta's existing fact-checking collaboration with them, which they started back in 2020.
So they're taking that commitment to accurate information even further.
Okay, let's switch gears now and talk about something completely different. Influencer marketing. It's a huge industry, super lucrative, but it can also be incredibly risky for brands. One wrong move by an influencer, and, well, a brand's reputation can take a major hit.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Influencers can be unpredictable, and that's where AI is coming in to offer some much-needed security measures. We're seeing companies like Lightricks develop AI-powered platforms specifically for vetting influencers before brands even consider partnering with them.
Like a background check, but for online personalities. Instead of spending hours scrolling through social media posts, brands can now use these platforms to scan an influencer's entire online history, across all platforms, and flag any content that might clash with the brand's values or image.
It's all about risk assessment, right? And, it reminds me of that situation with Brooke Schofield and Boys Lie. She had some controversial old social media posts resurface, and their partnership just blew up.
Oh yeah, that was a mess. A tool like Lightricks SafeCollab could have saved them a lot of trouble and potentially prevented that whole PR disaster. And it's not just about a one-time check either, right? It offers real-time monitoring, so brands can stay informed about an influencer's ongoing activity.
Exactly. It's like having a watchdog for your brand's reputation in the digital world.
Speaking of AI taking on unexpected roles, what about these AI pets that are popping up?
Oh, yeah. This is a fun one. Casio, the electronics company, has come out with Mouflin, which is basically an AI-powered robot designed for companionship. Like a fuzzy little guinea pig, but without a mouth.
It's like those Tamagotchis we were obsessed with back in the day, but
Yeah.
way more advanced.
It learns from its surroundings and develops a unique personality through interactions with its owner. It even comes with its own little charging bed.
It's fascinating how technology is merging with that human need for connection and caretaking. But unlike a Tamagotchi, uh, you can actually hold and cuddle Mouflin. It has a physical presence, which adds a whole other dimension to the experience.
Right. It's like a blend of technology and emotional support.
So, how much does one of these AI companions set you back?
Mouflin is priced around $400, and it's slated to start shipping in November. There's also an optional subscription service called Club Mouflin that covers repairs and even fur replacement.
Wow, they've thought of everything.
Yeah.
Are there other AI pets out there besides Mouflin?
Oh, definitely. There's Sony's Aibo, which is a robotic dog that's been around for a while. And then there's Tombot's Jenny, specifically designed for seniors and people with dementia, to provide comfort and companionship.
It's really interesting how AI is being used to address such a variety of needs.
Oh, and there's more. You've got Quobo, which is basically a cushion with a wagging tail. And then there's Mars Cat, a robotic cat that you can actually program yourself. It's open source. So, yeah, the possibilities are pretty endless.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, so for our final AI development today, let's head over to Poland, where a radio station is making some bold moves and stirring up quite a bit of controversy, too.
Yeah, this one has definitely sparked a lot of debate. OFF Radio Krakow, which is an online station, decided to replace its human journalists with AI-generated avatars. They're calling it an experiment to explore the opportunities and threats of AI in journalism, but it's definitely ruffled some feathers.
So these AI avatars are basically reading news content written by humans, but the on-air personalities are digital creations.
Exactly. And it's a limited time experiment set to run for 3 months. However, not all journalists are thrilled about it, to say the least.
Yeah, I can imagine. What are their main concerns?
Oh, job displacement is a big one. There's even a petition circulating demanding an explanation from the station and the government.
Wow, so it's become a bit of a political issue, too.
It has. The petition is being led by Mateusz Dębski, a former host at the station. And even Polish Deputy Prime Minister Krzysztof Kakowski has weighed in.
Wow, that's serious.
Yeah, but the station insists that they haven't dismissed any employees, just that some freelance contracts lapsed. They also pointed out that their listenership was almost non-existent before they made the switch, and that there was significant overlap in their programming with their parent station.
So they're arguing that this shakeup was necessary to stay relevant.
Precisely. But it's definitely ignited this debate about AI's role in journalism, and what the future holds for this field.
For sure. It's a lot to think about.
It's really interesting, how Meta's kind of framing this partnership with Reuters.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, they're emphasizing that their AI chatbot will actually be able to answer user questions about news and current events in real time.
Oh, so it's not just passively reading articles, right?
Exactly. It's about having a more interactive, engaging news experience. Imagine being able to ask your chatbot, specific questions about a story or even get like personalized news recommendations.
That would be amazing. I mean, it would make staying informed so much easier and more efficient. I mean, especially these days where everybody's vying for our attention.
Right. It's not just about convenience either, by partnering with a reputable news source like Reuters, Meta's, they're kind of signaling that they're serious about combating misinformation.
Right, or like taking a stand for quality journalism in the age of fake news and all that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how users respond to this new feature and if it actually helps to, curb the spread of misinformation.
It's definitely a step in the right direction. Now, speaking of navigating the digital world safely, let's circle back to influencer vetting and Lightricks SafeCollab.
Okay.
We talked about its capabilities, but how exactly does it work? Does it just look for keywords, or is there more to it?
Yeah, I'm curious about that too.
Yeah, it's definitely more sophisticated than a simple keyword search. SafeCollab, it uses advanced natural language processing and machine learning algorithms to really analyze an influencer's content. So it's taking into account context, sentiment, even visual cues to really get a complete picture of their online persona.
So it can understand things like sarcasm or irony,
Mhm.
which can be, pretty important for assessing whether an influencer's values actually align with a brand's message.
Precisely. It's designed to be as comprehensive as possible, to reduce the risk of overlooking something that could later become a problem. And it's not just about avoiding controversy. It's also about finding the right fit, for a successful partnership.
Right.
So SafeCollab can actually help brands identify influencers whose audience demographics and interests, align with their target market.
So it takes the guesswork out of influencer marketing in a sense.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, let's move on to something completely different. AI pets. I have to admit, I'm kind of intrigued by this whole concept. It's like a futuristic take on the Tamagotchi craze.
Yeah.
But can these AI pets really offer the same kind of emotional connection as a real pet?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, right? And the answer is it depends. Some people might find the idea of bonding with a machine a bit odd, while others might, welcome the companionship without the responsibility of caring for a living animal.
Right. It comes down to individual preferences. Like, what are you looking for in a companion? Right?
Exactly. And for some, AI pets could be a valuable source of comfort and emotional support, especially for people who are unable to care for a real pet, maybe due to allergies or living arrangements, any number of limitations.
Right.
And as the technology advances, these AI companions are becoming even more sophisticated and lifelike. So it really is starting to blur the lines between between what's real and what's artificial.
It's pretty amazing to think how far we've come, from those pixelated Tamagotchis to,
Oh.
these AI-powered robots that can learn and interact with us.
Yeah, it really is. It's a testament to human ingenuity.
Now, you mentioned that the pricing for these AI pets kind of varies quite a bit. You said Mouflon is around $400, but are there more affordable options?
You're right. The price range is quite wide, depending on the features and the complexity. So while Mouflon and Sony's Aibo are definitely on the higher end, there are more budget-friendly options out there, like Quobo, which is significantly less expensive. And then there are more specialized AI pets, like Tombot's Jenny, which is designed specifically for seniors and those with dementia. So the cost often reflects the target market and the level of functionality.
Right. So there are options available at different price points, which is great. Okay. Last but not least, let's dive back into the controversy surrounding OAFEGIO Krakow's decision to replace their human journalists
Yeah.
with the AI avatars.
Okay.
I'm curious to hear more about the petition that's circulating and what specific concerns are being raised.
Yeah, well, the petition, it expresses concern over the potential job displacement caused by the station's decision.
Right.
And it also questions the transparency of the decision-making process, claiming that the station failed to adequately inform its employees about the changes. So it's calling for greater accountability and a thorough investigation.
So it sounds like the journalists are worried about the precedent this sets for the future of their profession, right? A radio station can just replace its hosts with AI avatars. What's stopping other media outlets from doing the same?
Right. And it's not just about job security. It's also the potential impact on the quality and integrity of journalism, right?
Yeah.
So critics they argue that while AI can be a valuable tool for, automating certain tasks, it it lacks the critical thinking, the empathy, the nuanced understanding that are really essential for producing, high quality, unbiased news reporting.
I can definitely see their point. There's something to be said for that human element and the ability to connect with audiences.
Right. And, it really makes you think about that balance, that line between AI as a tool and AI as a replacement, right?
Absolutely. I think the key is finding ways for AI to enhance human capabilities rather than trying to replicate them entirely. Hmm. It's that collaboration aspect, right? Working alongside AI to achieve even greater things.
Exactly. And it's not just journalism either. We're seeing this same conversation pop up in all sorts of creative fields, from music and art to, even literature.
Oh, definitely. Like AI generating music, creating artwork, writing stories, even poetry. It's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, the possibilities are pretty vast and honestly a little bit unsettling for some people, I'm sure. But this whole situation in Poland, it's like a snapshot of that larger debate, that global conversation we're having about AI, and how it's shaping the future of work and creativity and how we consume information.
It's fascinating and a little bit scary all at the same time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, AI is impacting so many different aspects of our lives.
It really is. But it's also incredibly exciting to see where this technology takes us next. I mean, who knows what kind of amazing breakthroughs are just around the corner.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive for today. We covered a lot of ground, from the evolving landscape of news and influencer marketing to the rise of AI companions and the controversial use of AI in journalism.
It's a dynamic and ever-changing world out there when it comes to AI, and we've really only just scratched the surface.
Definitely a lot to keep an eye on. Thanks for joining us for this exploration of all things AI. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the latest developments in this fascinating world. Until then, stay curious, everyone.